Hey guys, it's Brie. So today was just one of those days where I had a lot more to do than I actually thought I had to do, and it was crazy busy and I'm really tired now. And the video I was hoping to do today really needs me to have a brain, essentially. A brain to think up an idea and a concept of how to present it to you guys. So I thought what I'd do instead is I'd do a Q&A, and I asked you guys on my Instagram to give me any questions that you wanted answered, and then I said I would answer them in this video. So you know, even if you didn't answer a question, maybe stay tuned because I might answer your question. Someone else might have asked it. So I just posted on Instagram, and I'm going to go through each of the questions and, you know, look at the ones I think would be worth answering, and I'll just put them in here and hopefully this video won't be too long. So the first question I have is, how do I sanitize my new Ruby cup if I don't have a pot for it? I would recommend taking a mug and filling your kettle and pouring boiling water over your cup, which is put into the mug, and leave it for 5 minutes, and that's a pretty good way to sterilize it. And the next one is, what's a good shop to start with for cloth pads if you're on a budget? Well, I mean, I try and get my shop to be the one that's in this range. There are a lot of shops on Etsy and a lot of shops all over the place actually that sell really good, like nice pretty pads that are a reasonable price but still a bit more at the expensive end. So I sell, you know, really budget pads, and actually I do have a discount on at the moment if you're watching this new. It's on all my overnight pads. I always have it linked below every single one of my videos, my website. How to deal with a period if you are new, and top tips. So when you get your period, it's all a bit of a, you know, an exploration. You're just trying to figure out how the hell you deal with it and what works for you and your body. So really, I would recommend you get a few different products. If you want to use disposables as well as reusables, or if you just want to use disposables, try a few different brands. And if you want to try reusables, maybe grab a couple of cloth pads, a menstrual cup perhaps. I always recommend the best first menstrual cup is to use a small classic Maluna with a classic stem. And you might want to try one of them, and you might want to try tampons. It's up to you really. Top tips, well, just go with what works for your body. That's basically my top tip, and the rest you will figure out. The next question is, why did you start your YouTube channel, and will you ever release a book? I'm a fan from Britain. Hope you have a great day. Thank you. I hope you have a great day too. I started YouTube for a number of reasons. The first one was I really enjoyed watching these types of videos at the time. I was very sick in bed, and as I was sick, as I said, I was in bed. I spent a lot of time in bed, and I really struggled to do everyday things, so just watching YouTube really cheered me up. And somehow I stumbled across the videos on reusable menstrual products, and when I decided to try them, I discovered I loved them. So I decided I'd make a video on my stash, and then I gradually got more and more requests, so I started making videos on the requests, and then it just took off from there. And the other reason I did it was because I wanted to spread the word on reusable menstrual products. I thought they were so great. As far as releasing a book is concerned, I don't know, it depends how big this gets. I might release a book at some point, but who knows, probably not anytime soon though. What is your comfort food when you're on your period? This is really, really bad, but my comfort food is the beef and tomato pot noodles. I really don't have any more of a craving for chocolate than usual when I'm on my period. I don't get many of the PMS symptoms like cramping. Sorry, I get cramping and that's it. I don't get moody, I don't get emotional. I don't get cravings for chocolate, but I do find that pot noodles are really comforting my period, and I really hate admitting that because they're so bad for you. But yeah, I don't have it every period, just sometimes if I'm feeling really, really miserable. What is the best type of natural pain relief method on your period? Well, there are a couple of methods. Some of them I've tried, some of them I haven't yet. The main one that you've actually mentioned here is the Balticamber necklace. That worked for me, I swear, for 1 month, but then the next month it didn't. But I get a lot of people who have continuously worn it and say whether it's a necklace or a bracelet or an anklet, and they say they really do experience some benefits from it. You really need to have 2 pieces of Balticamber on your body. A necklace and an anklet is what I had, but you could have a bracelet and a necklace, a bracelet and an anklet, whatever combination you want. You can also link an anklet and a necklace together and put them around your waist, so you have like a belly chain of Balticamber. So it might work for you, especially if you haven't got particularly bad period cramps. It's definitely something to consider. The other thing that I found has worked in the past is magnesium. It can definitely relieve cramps. A lot of people are magnesium deficient, and you find if you take magnesium citrate every day for a week before your period, sometimes you don't get any pain at all. The other thing you can try is a magnet that clips onto the front of your underwear, and basically it just, I'm not entirely sure what it does, but somebody recommended this to me the other day. I've had magnetic treatment during my period before. I've never responded to it, so I'm kind of reluctant to buy that magnet and try it out. But basically you clip it onto your underwear and it's supposed to help with period pain. You can look it up on Amazon. Any tips for having exams and your period at the same time? I don't think I had my period through any of the exams I had at school, GCSE wise. I was the last year to do modules, so I don't have any GCSEs, but what I did do was, we used to do our GCSEs in 3 parts, and I did 2 of the 3 modules, so technically I have a GCSE for each of them, but they're really low grades. They'll be like D's and E's and that kind of stuff, because even though I got B's and A's, they don't add up to the full amount, so I don't have a full GCSE. But for those GCSEs I did do, I don't think I had my period, but I did have my period on my driving theory test, where I had to sit down, and actually it was one of those days that was really bad for me, and I'd taken cocodamol, which is codeine, and paracetamol before I went into the exam, and you know, within an hour, I probably took 20 to 30 minutes to do this, and I was already feeling cramps again by the time I left. I did pass though, so I think the best thing to do is try and block them out as much as you can if you're getting cramps, and you know, focus on the paper. If you're really organised, then make sure you put on a clean pad, or you put a clean tampon or a clean menstrual cup in before you go into the exam, so you feel nice and fresh and prepared and you're not going to worry about that. And also take some medication around 10 to 20 minutes before you go in if you know you're going to be cramping, but make sure you spread it out so you don't overdose on the pain. The next question is, how do cloth pads manage to shorten periods? Is it because they don't have chemicals like regular pads, or something like that? Truthfully, the answer to this is we don't know. There hasn't been enough research done into it. We can only guess that it's the fact that they are more breathable, they don't have the chemicals like you said, and they're just made from more natural fibres in general, even though some of them are polyester, which isn't a natural fibre obviously. Just the breathability and the fact they don't have the sit on top chemicals that the typical disposable pads do, and the fragrances that are put into those pads, is what we can guess is what shortens them. Is wearing a cup in ballet uncomfortable, and can you feel it? Nope, I can never feel my menstrual cup when I'm in ballet, except when I'm really heavy and I leak, which is unfortunate because I really should have taken that cup out and emptied it earlier, but wearing it by itself doesn't hurt, and it doesn't feel like anything at all really. Why do you wear panty liners every day? I personally wear panty liners every day because I get everyday discharge, and I just, even though it's enough that could be held by just your underwear, I feel more comfortable if I've got a panty liner in. I often have heavier discharge around the time I'm ovulating, but also throughout my childhood I had this problem with dripping. I never, no matter how many times I wiped after I've been to the toilet, I would always drip a little bit, and it's just kind of a habit I got into of wearing panty liners, and I think I still do this a little bit, not as much as I used to when I was younger. Somebody once put it down to drinking Ribena, which was complete rubbish, but you know. And I just got used to doing it, and I actually prefer it. I feel cleaner, or not cleaner, but I feel fresher if I wear a panty liner every day, so that's why I do it. What do you think about contraceptives? Are you on any? Do you suggest certain types of contraceptives over any others? I'm not on any type of contraceptive. I can't personally take hormonal contraceptives for a number of reasons. I have ME, myalgic encephalomyelitis, or chronic fatigue syndrome. It doesn't affect everyone in the same way, but one of the things it does affect me with is the fact that I cannot tolerate hormones at all. No kind of hormonal treatment has ever been able to be used on me without me getting some really horrific side effects, like I get exhausted and I can't get out of bed. And given as I've been in that position before, I'm in no way willing to test it out again. So I can't take hormonal contraceptives, and also I just have a personal preference of not wanting to take them. But I think with contraceptives it's very much a case of your own situation. For example, if you are not in a long-term relationship but you're kind of wanting to have flings and stuff, definitely consider using condoms, because obviously they prevent against STIs and all those things, as well as pregnancy. And it's just generally a good idea to wear one if you don't know the guy that well. But if you're in a long-term relationship and you've both been, you know, tested and you're clean, then it really just depends on what method you think would work best for you. It's always a good idea to speak to a doctor about it. Have you been able to switch any of your friends over to using apps? I think one of my friends I've given a couple of pads to, and she definitely uses them. I don't know if she uses them exclusively, but I definitely do know she uses them. So yes, I guess I have switched one over. How many pads do you have in total? It is far too embarrassing to be able to count, but probably around 80 or so. And the last question, after pregnancy, can you use a menstrual cup? Yes, you definitely can. Sometimes you'll find that your vagina has stretched a bit and the cup you used before you got pregnant won't work. It also depends on how you gave birth, if you had a C-section or if you had a vaginal birth. It really will depend on your own body. Some people find they can go back to using Model 1 cups, but some people find they do need to upgrade to a Model 2, which is usually slightly bigger or has a bigger capacity. Often after you've been pregnant, what you'll find is your uterus is stretched, and when it shrinks back down, it doesn't shrink right down quite as small as it was before. So you've got a larger uterine surface area, or your endometrium is larger, and that often means your period gets heavier, or at least that's what I'm guessing happens, because a lot of people do discover they get heavier periods after they've had a baby. That's a logical reason I can think of. If any of you know the actual reason, then please feel free to tell me. But I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I did just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's already donated to Pads for Empowerment. I will put the donation links below. I had to split it between 2 donation sites because the first site that I set up with was GoFundMe. They didn't accept PayPal donations, so what I did is, because by that point I realised this, I'd already had some donations on it, I set up another funding page, fundraising page with Fundraiser, and you can donate through PayPal on that site. So they're both trying to raise £500. I'm almost at the halfway point, which is £500 out of a total of 1,000. So thank you so much to everyone who's donated. If you can donate even a little bit, I would be so grateful to you guys. Thank you so much for supporting me. If you want to read any more about the project and what it's doing, then I will also link the website below to explaining what Pads for Empowerment is about. And if this project is successful, then I will do it again, and it's running until the end of May. But thank you for watching, guys. Please subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Bye!